Did you serve in Afghanistan?
Yes, I did.
How many tours?
One.
J.R. Majewski, who's a Republican, a very Trump-esque Republican, running for a congressional seat in northwestern Ohio, recently got caught up in lying about his military service, rather unnecessarily so. He said that he got deployed to Afghanistan in May of 2002 after the September 11th terrorist attacks, when in reality, his military service was spent as a passenger operations specialist, and he spent most of his time in Kadena Air Force Base in Japan. And in 2002 of May, he was sent to Qatar to help load and unload planes, which again, he didn't need to lie about his military service at all. He could have talked about what he learned from it, how he served, what he gained, the relationships he made. But no, he has to lie because that wasn't alpha enough. It wasn't big dog enough. It wasn't, like Republican buzzwords, September 11th, the immigrants are coming, stuff like that. They have to really latch on to that instead of focusing on policy, which is really how you win elections anyway. But again, he really unnecessarily got caught up in this. And even in interviews that he's done on camera, when they asked him about his service in Afghanistan, I don't really like to talk about it. Well, this is why he doesn't like to talk about it, because he's lying.
What year were you there? What years?
2002, 2003.
Wow. So you served right at the beginning.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Tough. I don't like talking about my military experience.
Don Christensen, who's a retired colonel and former chief prosecutor for the Air Force, recently said of J.R. Majewski that it bothers me when people trade on their military service to get elected to office when what they are doing is misleading people they want to vote for them. Veterans have done so much for this country, and when you claim to have done what your brothers and sisters in arms actually did to build your reputation, it is a disservice. And that's completely true. And like I mentioned, he really could have used his real-life military experience to connect to people in human ways, but he was trying to be more machismo. He was trying to be bigger than life. He was trying to be the best and the biggest, and I know the most, and nobody knows more than me. Trying to play that Trump card, but he got caught up. Probably because he doesn't have enough money and fame and notoriety to play the Trump card. But regardless, it was a really unnecessary lie. And why is that important? Well, politicians lie, but when you just lie this brazenly about who you are, that's a bad indication, or rather a good indication, that you're going to lie about pretty much everything, and nothing that you say can be trusted. So, this is a really bad look for J.R. Majewski, but it's something that he brought upon himself. And this really just highlights the importance of focusing on policy. And not just policy, there's other things that matter. Being able to relate to people, being able to, bring out people's emotions, and in a good way, because you have to connect to people's struggles. You have to connect to people's hopes and dreams. You have to connect to what people want to see happen in society. And that's what builds real movements. And we've seen the power that can have on the left. Even though change often is inched forward slowly, sometimes, the dam can be broken. Sometimes we really can make big things happen all at once. And that's why we have to keep our heads in the game. That's why we have to keep working. That's why we have to take advantage of this time. Even though it may seem dark, that's when there's the most opportunity. That's when there's the most need for leadership. And that's when people really rise up. So I have all the faith in the world for the future, but I definitely wanted to shed light on our boy J.R. Majewski because it looks like the gig is up.